Hello, happy Thursday, and welcome. If you're wondering what it's like to not only be a woman in tech, but to smash those glass ceilings that women in tech may face, then you are in the right place. And don't worry, all are welcome tonight. So as we tackle some awesome topics, just stick around because I think that regardless, you're going to be inspired. Hey everyone, I'm Kelsey from CompTIA, and happy Women's History Month. We are just a few days away from International Women's Day, and today we've got a fierce panel of women that are truly inspiring, and we're so honored to have them here. So before we begin, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. And tonight, it looks like we've got the US covered from coast to coast here. Alli is out in Oregon, Kanika and Gabrielle are out east. I'm here in the Midwest. Where is everyone tuning in from? We want to know. Let us know in the chat. And while you're doing that, we will get to it. Who are these 5 women smashing glass ceilings in tech? Let's do some introductions and share a little bit about yourself, ladies, and how you got started in tech. Gabrielle, AKA Gab Smash on Twitter. Thanks for being here. Let's start with you.
Thanks for having me. I'm Gabrielle, Gab Smash, as a lot of people know me, and I am currently a cloud security engineer. And then I came from a different industry too. That'll become important later, I'm sure, as we talk about breaking into tech. And then I also do a lot of work with stopping and preventing and raising awareness on human trafficking with its relation to cybersecurity and the internet.
Awesome. And thank you for your work on that. It's so incredibly important. And I think that we've all seen recently how OSINT can kind of, really change things for the better and help to kind of speed up some investigations and things like that too. So thank you, Gabrielle, for your work in that. Amy from Tech Girls, do you care to share?
Yes, hi, thank you for having me. I'm Amy Clayette. I'm the director of Tech Girls and the Women in Tech Summit, both of which are programs of creating IT futures in CompTIA. And I'm really happy to be here to talk about the work that we're doing to help girls and women get to be women in tech.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. And we can't wait to hear a little bit more about that mission and some fun activities and events that you have coming up. Alli, let's have you go next.
Yeah, hi, I'm Alli Houghton, and I am an information systems specialist with the state of Oregon, and I'm also a content creator for a YouTube channel called Learn CyberSecurity, where we help people who are interested in cybersecurity or in IT in general get educated and help them navigate through that path. And I actually started in a criminal justice background with studying that in college, and then realized I really loved computers, and then found that cybersecurity kind of combines those two things together. So that's how I ended up finding kind of my passion in here.
Awesome. Awesome. And Kanika, would you care to go next?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Kanika Tolver, and I am from the Washington, D.C. area. I am a senior project manager at the Department of Treasury. I enjoy leading software development teams. I'm also the CEO and author at Career Rehab, where we transform careers. So we gut out the things that's not happening well for people's careers, and we put in the things that will help them land their dream job within tech.
Wonderful. And you've got, it's so funny that you say that because everyone, hello, shameless plug. I just got Kanika's book yesterday. So I can't wait to dig into it. So hopefully you all, we're going to have links later in the description so you can take a look a little bit later. But last but not least, let's go to Gabby from Sweet Home Chicago, just down the road from me. Let's have you introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Gabby Ariza, and I am a cybersecurity specialist for the Society of Actuaries, and I'm here located in Chicago. I post a lot on Instagram about cybersecurity resources, and you can find me there, Fab Millennial.
Awesome. Okay, so we could probably talk for days about this topic, but I know we've only got a short amount of time tonight. So we heard a little bit about how you got your started in tech, but let's talk about what you love about IT. Gabby, can we start with you?
I love just so much about tech. So first of all, I feel like technology really touches a lot of different areas, and it impacts every aspect of our real life. And to be able to be a part of that and be able to change lives and help others through technology is just so powerful. And I think that's what I really love about technology. And one other thing would be that there's always a problem to solve. And I really enjoy that in tech.
Awesome. Alli, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I think, of course, all that Gabby covered is definitely something I find really important. But for me, more so the communication that comes from technology and the ability to educate people on a much bigger scale than we used to be able to do is just astounding. And I just love that we have the opportunity with technology to not only facilitate more communication, but reach people who might not have previously been able to access that type of information. And I just love that it's just helping people in general.
Amazing. Amy, how about you?
I love technology for the opportunity of it. I think it's one of the few careers that really has a level playing field from coming into it. So you can take that career anywhere you want to go and really keep learning and keep leveling up as much as you want. So it's one of those things that it doesn't matter what you look like or what you where your background's from. You have the ability to be in a technology career. So I love that opportunity aspect of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Kanika, what are your thoughts?
I really enjoy the idea of being a continuous learner. I think it's so important to know that in this industry that you constantly are going to be learning at a faster pace. And I like the idea that the more you learn, the more you earn. So, it's a very good career. You can have a very good salary in this industry and you can continue to grow. So I think, there's no limits in this industry. So that's what I love the most about IT.
I love it. Gabrielle, how about you?
I was thinking kind of along the lines of what Kanika said. I think that it's changing every day. There's something new every day in our industry. And so there's never going to be a shortage of things to learn. The other portion that I really enjoy is just that it touches every industry. There's room for every industry in security, whether you're in finance or healthcare, any of those, they all have security aspects to them and tech aspects to them at this point. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that the interesting thing is, so I'm not a technical person at all. I was joking with the girls yesterday about it, but what I do love about IT is that anyone can do it. You think that there's these barriers for you, but I've learned so much in my 2 years of working here in marketing, and not even in a technical kind of division. And you don't have to be an expert in computers to be able to love tech, to be able to have that curiosity that you need in order to, and that kind of that drive to continue to learn. So I think that that's something that I've found is really special. And it's something that I think will fuel passion for a lot of women too, when they're looking at, okay, maybe it's tough. No, it's not too tough. You guys can do it. It's totally fine. We've got all of these different opportunities that are available to us. And if you've got that curiosity, I loved what you said there, Kanika, the more you learn, the more you earn. And that is awesome. So I think that, one thing that we can agree with is that we are nothing without our challenges. And I know that all of you have faced some pretty interesting challenges yourselves. So however big or small, I want to kind of talk about the different challenges that you've faced and how you've been able to overcome those. Alli, you've got a really interesting story, and it's a tough one, but you were able to turn it into a positive. So can you share that with us?
Yeah, so before getting into IT, I actually worked for a courthouse, and I worked there for a long time and realized that I really wanted to get in tech. So at the time, I was studying for my certification through CompTIA, the Sec Plus, and a job opportunity came up that I was very well qualified for. I had the experience for it. I was actually training for, and they ended up not giving me the position because they, in their words, were looking for different perspective. And the different perspective was somehow in a white male who they ended up hiring. And that was, to me, made me realize that I didn't want to be within an organization that didn't really want to see me grow and were giving me these reasons that I couldn't do that or blocking me from. So I decided at that point that I wanted to find an organization in technology that would let me grow and give me these opportunities without having to fight for them.
Yeah, I totally hear you. And I think that that's the thing is that, if you're looking for different perspective, look around. Especially on this panel, you've got a wealth of knowledge from, women that started, from different career backgrounds to, women that have, they didn't necessarily go up the ranks the way that maybe was the traditional route. And Gabrielle, you posted on LinkedIn the other day, this week, the timing of it was absolutely perfect. This is what Gabrielle said. A CISO I knew told me a few years ago that I could never go into security without working my way up and that I would fail if I tried. And that I had none of the skill that I needed to succeed. Ooh, that burns. Today, he sent me a message asking for advice on a project and praising my technical ability and drive. Don't let people tell you you can't do something. Gabrielle, can you share a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, like you said, it was pretty well timed, but it was, probably about 3 years ago. And it was someone I was going to for advice because I looked up to them in that field. And that was kind of what they came back with. And I got that from multiple people, not just that person. So it was it felt like things came full circle a little bit. Yesterday or a couple days ago when that happened, I was like, wow, okay, like I've come pretty far in a couple years. And I'm glad that I didn't let myself be deterred by that person.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you share a little bit about what your journey looks like? Because, it's a little bit different, like you said. So I'm curious, can you kind of share with us?
Yeah, I went to college for neuroscience and psychology with a minor in criminal justice. So it's all over the place already. Once I graduated, I worked in the pharmaceutical and genetic science industry. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't what I wanted to do forever. And, I was working with medical devices a lot, and I kept coming across medical devices that had vulnerabilities. And I was really curious as to why would someone want to hack a pacemaker or something along those lines? So I started researching more about it and kind of fell in love with the research and decided that security was kind of the path I wanted to pursue. So been in the field for a couple years now. I'm actually going back to grad school this fall to study global security and cybercrime. So continuing to add on to that. But it was an unconventional journey, but I'm glad I landed here.
That's awesome. Congratulations on grad school.
Thank
That's
you.
so exciting. So Kanika, you're next. Let's talk through some challenges that maybe you have faced.
So one of my biggest challenges was back a couple of years ago when I decided to leave my government job for private sector. I had been working in an organization that was toxic. I wasn't growing. I had 4 different managers within a 5-year period. I just was in a bad place. So I decided to revamp my resume, revamp my LinkedIn profile, and I started to look for jobs outside of my organization. People told me that I was crazy for leaving my good government job for private sector, that, I was ruining my career and ruining my life. It caused so much confusion and worry and anxiety. But I really believe reinventing myself was one of the best things that I did, because it was going to allow me to be able to brand market and sell myself into new opportunities. And I could have stayed there, but I would have been very unhappy. I would sometimes be crying at work. Sometimes I would come to work and be very unhappy. But I think it's important that we know that when we reinvent ourselves or we level up, that it's going to create unstoppable opportunities for us. So that was one of my biggest challenges that I had about 5 years ago.
Wow. Well, I mean, it couldn't have ended in a better place for you, because now you've got this book and you're inspiring so many other people. So that is absolutely incredible. So Gabby, you posted on Instagram today, and I loved your photo at the Sky Deck and the Willis Tower. I always like to still call it the Sears Tower, but I mean, I wouldn't want that glass ceiling to break, but I overall, I think that we can all understand why. But I wanted to actually pull that up and talk through a couple of the comments that that we actually, you got from those today. So you had asked them, hey, what are some things that maybe have stopped you from kind of reaching your full potential? And someone said, it's really good to be able to form those right connections and in order to get into the field. And women need to support other women, which is why I'm so glad that we have this amazing panel of guests tonight, because I think that we're all going to grow our networks in some way, shape, or form. And I think that that's going to be the big message from tonight, is to be able to support other women. And someone else said, hey, what's holding me back is myself. I'm the only one holding me back from taking the Security Plus exam. And she can't wait for this panel. So hopefully she's here. Meg runs wild. Hopefully you're here. Hi. So Gabby, do you want to share a little bit about some challenges that you may have faced?
I have to say, I did have a challenge with both of those situations. So for one, even though I was already in IT, I was a web developer, and I was trying to transition into cybersecurity. And I did not know really anybody in cybersecurity. I didn't know what I was doing or how I could just move on over. And the way I was actually able to transition was networking. I actually attended one of the larger conferences here in Chicago. And from there, I just took on and I just started communicating with people, trying to get to know people and asking them, hey, how did you get in? Or what is your advice for me to be able to cross over into cybersecurity? And from there, that's where I landed my first job opportunity in cybersecurity, thanks to one of those conferences. And then the second challenge is I had a lot of doubts about myself. And I think a big challenge that stopped me from advancing faster was because I wasn't sure if I was able to work in cybersecurity. I would look at the job descriptions and they looked really intimidating. Sometimes it was really hard to ask for a raise or take the next opportunity because I just was not so sure about it. But my advice to them who are watching is just go for it. I know it can be really intimidating at first, but just go and meet people and apply.
I love it. I think that that's the biggest thing, is that we do need to network and lean on one another to continue to progress. And Amy, I'm so interested to hear some of the challenges that maybe some of the girls in the Tech Girls Organization programs, what things they may face.
Yeah, I mean, I think you would be surprised to find out how often the girls are discouraged from pursuing technical, not careers at the age that we have them. They're 6th to 8th grade, so they're thinking about what they want to study maybe in high school and college. And a lot of times the girls are still being turned away from the idea that they belong in a career in technology. I can tell you a story recently where there was a girl that came through the Tech Girls program. She was in high school. She joined her local robotics team and was pushed out. I mean, she was told that she's a girl, she should take notes. She had one of the boys physically take the pen out of her hand as she was trying to solve a problem. I mean, just lots of stories like that I can tell you. But I do want to kind of pepper in the bright side of that is, with that experience, she helped herself grow, and she also realized that she had some allies out there. One of the boys in the group was kind enough to reach out to her after she stopped coming to find out why and try to set up a solution for her to be able to come back. So it's not all bad, but there is still a lot of challenges out there for our girls in feeling like they belong, which is why at Tech Girls, we teach them about technology, but more so we teach them about being open to trying new things and being willing to fail, and really just having that confidence that will let them get through that robotics club experience.
Right. I think that everyone can kind of agree. We all talk about soft skills all the time and how important it is to work in tech, especially if you kind of start out in IT help desk and things like that. What what advice, I guess, would you give to these girls and women that are watching, anyone that's able to kind of catch this a little bit later? Can you all give us some advice for what is your best, I don't know, what do you recommend, where to start? Or maybe it's something where it's like, hey, don't be afraid to just go after it. That job description, it looks really scary, but I actually saw a statistic the other day that men end up, they apply to those harder positions or the ones that they may not be qualified for more times than not. And so I'm curious, ladies, I'll have Amy go first because I know that you've got some really good tidbits here, but I can't wait for this because this is the part of the session that I got jazzed up about yesterday.
Don't give up, is really, it sounds silly, but just don't give up. I think the assumption where the natural tendency is to, something's difficult to kind of move away from it, but you have to keep moving forward. Don't let other people tell you what you can't do. Don't assume that you're not going to like something if you haven't even tried it. Just give it a shot. Try it out. Say yes, even if it scares you.
That's great. Kanika, how about you?
So my advice to women is build your brand by dating jobs. Build your brand by dating jobs. Always know what is it that you want from the job, because at the end of the day, they're getting some expertise and knowledge out of you. You have these credentials, you have these certifications, but if the job's not treating you right, then you need to move on to the next job. And you need to take that experience and that exposure and that network, and you need to move into new opportunities. You need to look at the job like friends with benefits, because they're getting something out of you, and you want to make sure that you're getting something out that you can leverage on your resume and on your LinkedIn profile. So that would be my advice, is be about dating jobs. And it's not job hopping. It's about knowing that you are worth it. And if they're not treating you right, keep it moving.
That is amazing. I love that. Alli, how about you?
Yeah, it definitely, with what Kanika says, is I definitely think you need to know your worth. And there's going to be a lot of times when you're in a job that's just dangling a carrot over your head about promotions, about pay raises, steps up. And if they aren't giving that to you, then you know that you're worth more than that. You work hard to be where you're at, and you deserve to be where you're at and beyond that. So I think the biggest thing to take away is you need to know that if the position doesn't value you, then find somewhere else, because there are companies and organizations out there that will value you, and they will value your work and your time.
That's amazing. Gabrielle, I hear you. I see you kind of shaking your head. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that's been said so far. I guess one of the things that I think is really important is to, only you know when you're ready for something. And reaching out to people is a really good way to, I've gotten so many good opportunities from just reaching out to someone, asking them about what they do, asking them about like what their journey was like. But also, if you want to talk at a conference, submit to that conference. I've had a couple people ask me, when's the right time to do that in your career? And I don't think there is a right time. I submitted to my first conference like 6 months into my career, and I was hoping that I didn't get picked, but then I did, and I had to do it anyway. But it ended up being a really good experience. So if there's something you're passionate about, go for it. The worst they can do is tell you no, and then you're in the same spot that you were before.
Yeah, that's great. Gabby, you're next.
My advice is to find your path. The wonderful thing about IT is you can go get a degree, you can take certifications. There's a lot of self-learning, and fit it with your schedule. I understand that, there are a lot of women who are mothers, and sometimes they do have to leave the workforce and then come back years later. But the very nice thing about IT is that you can jump back in and you can find your path and be able to grow from there, and just take your own time and take your own path to be able to reach the levels that you can go.
I think that's a great point, especially in the pandemic. I've seen so many, frankly, scary stats that, women are dropping out of the workforce more frequently now. And honestly, I love the fact that technology can be there for them, because technology is constantly evolving. It's always changing, and same thing, like how our certifications are, they're updated based off of the new technologies that are available and what's really happening in, the technical roles. So I think that that's the beautiful part about it. Sometimes these challenges that you face, or, the feeling like there is that glass ceiling, the glass ceiling can be a salary, the glass ceiling can be opportunity. But the good thing about tech is that, like you said, Kanika, the more that you learn, the more that you earn, the more that you work at it, the more curiosity that you have, the more opportunity that you can create for yourself, and you can kind of pave your own path, which is awesome. I loved kind of creating your own path, Gabby. That's awesome. So we have just a couple more minutes, everybody. And if there's any questions that you may have from everyone that's live, we'd love to hear them. Tani, I see that you're super active in the chat. Does anybody have any questions for these awesome ladies?
I think too, just to kind of touch on one of the points that you made about being ambitious and being following your passions and the things that you're finding, you also don't have to feel like you have to do it all the time, because that was one of the big things with me. When I get invested in something, I'm really invested in it, and sometimes you forget that you really need to step back and get away from it so that you can still continue to enjoy it without getting the burnout. And I think that's a trap that a lot of women fall in when they're getting into IT, is they're like, well, I need to be working on an IT project, or I need to be working on something in my spare time to show that I'm really passionate about IT. You don't have to. You have that passion. You don't have to prove that to anyone. Mm-hmm. But you do need to take time for yourself. And like we were talking about, there's a lot of moms out there too. And it's, that time with your family is just as important. So don't feel like you have to invest your whole self in it all the time, because you don't have to, and you don't have to prove anything to anyone.
I agree with that, Alli. Mental health is so important in IT, and it should be talked about more. Stress, anxiety, and depression and burnout is real in this industry. So it's very important to take care of yourself, and don't feel like you need to have a leadership role to validate your worth. If you don't want to be an executive or a project manager or a solution architect, you can still be successful and earn just as much money being on the other side. So it's very important that we don't add additional pressure to ourselves, thinking that we have to validate ourselves through job titles.
Also, to kind of build on the mental health part of things, and I mentioned this yesterday, social media impacts your mental health. And it's important to remember that you're only seeing people's wins on social media. Yeah. You are going to be told no, but nobody's on social media saying, hey, I got rejected from a job today. Everyone's just posting their wins. So keep in mind that everyone is being told no at some point, and that it's not just you, even though it can feel like it. And yeah, nobody's posting their losses, just their wins. So you can't compare your everyday to someone's best day.
So important.
That's so important. I actually saw a post the other day that said, it glorifying, like, everyone always kind of glorifies the hustle. And, I think we're the side hustle generation. I've got a side hustle. Everyone's got a side hustle, just because it's fun. And I think that side hustles are generally speaking, they're your passions. And, Alli, I really appreciated what you said, because I recently came back from parental leave, and this conversation is really important, because I was like, okay, this is me. This is my career path. This is where I want to go. And it's like, no, but I really enjoy the time with my family, and my daughter is adorable and my son is fantastic. So, I want to be able to be there with them. And if that means that, that promotion's a little bit further down the line, that's okay. And I think that that's the beautiful part about CompTIA too, is that the work environment here is so family friendly. And I think that we posted about that the other day, and someone said, well, the work-life balance, not really in IT, but I think that it depends on where you're at in it. But I think that definitely can be the case.
Love CompTIA for that.
Love
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I have one last little tidbit as a mom I have to throw out there. If you are potentially a career changer and you're looking to, learn technology, bring your kids with you in on the learning. My son definitely benefited from that. He's going to have a tech career because he watched me.
Wow.
I completely
That's
agree with that. I myself, like, I grew up with technology. My parents put me in summer camps to learn tech at the age of 10. And thanks to that, now I have this career and I have such a passion for it. So yes, it is so important to bring the kids in.
That's awesome. Well, hey, everybody, I really appreciate your time today, ladies. Thank you so much for being here. There's going to be links in the description later for you to take a look at some of the great resources that all of these ladies are doing and working in. But also take a look at our blog. There's going to be a link in the description as well for you to get a cute little 10% off coupon if you sign up for the newsletter. But you'll also be able to subscribe to some really great content. In all March, we are going to be highlighting different stories from incredible women in the industry. And we can't wait for you to hear and glean more from these stories. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, ladies. It has been absolutely awesome. And it's safe to say that IT and technology at large would not be the same without you ladies and everyone out there that's advancing technology. So CompTIA supports your efforts, and we can't wait to get even more women into IT. So thank you all so much. It's been a pleasure, and we hope you have a great night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.